Welcome back to another 2-minute review, and this one will probably come pretty close to 2 minutes because today we're looking at the Fearless Roland. So this is actually a super nice looking shell. And it's not going to actually come through on camera all that well, but the way it actually sparkles in the light, it has that crushed glass kind of look to it. It's got some black stripes, so very much a super nice looking shell. I think the other one is similar. I don't think it says anything different, it just says right and left. But this one says Roland, this one says Fearless. So, yeah, super nice looking shell. Cable is actually kind of nice. Pretty similar split set that Fearless has used on other sets. So, not too bad. So that's what it looks like up close. So what's inside? It is actually, the specs are actually super nice. It is a true tribrid. It is dual Sonyon ESTs, dual BA, and 1DD. So on paper, perfect specs. It should have been a perfect foundation for an amazing sounding set. And inside, what the sound quality is, and I couldn't decide on what the proper title should be. It's either the Dark Knight or the Paladin series, because Roland has two brothers, and they're slightly different configurations. They all have ESTs, and one of them has, I think, 6 BAs, and I don't remember what the other one. So Roland is the only one with a dynamic driver, but this is the darkest of the Paladin series, without doubt. Or Beauty is only shell deep, because like I said, the shell is actually very nice to actually hold in your hand, and in person it's even nicer than it is on camera. So, Roland, the Roland requirements are $1,000 and EQ. The tuning is very dark. So, while it's technically possible to listen to it without EQ, I'm not sure you would want to, because it sounds very much like almost a budget set, because you're not really hearing these probably expensive drivers to their full potential. Everything sounds quite muted. So at first listen, it kind of sounds okay. There's nothing, I'm about to say there was nothing missing, but there actually is something missing, but it sounds okay. You put on a track and it kind of sounds like that track, but 2 minutes later you sort of realize the whole upper end is missing, and it's there, but it's at such a low volume that strings kind of sound like strings, but they're very muted. Almost like when your phone goes to like half volume, like you're watching a video and a call comes in or something and you cut to half volume. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like the treble is about half level. Very odd sound. But the lower treble is not. So it's a very strange, weird, and we'll look at the graph in a second, but so your first instinct is just to turn it up, because it sounds like you're listening to something at half volume. So you turn it up, and then you keep on turning it up. You turn it up a lot, and it kind of sounds reasonable. So I will call it the ultimate no fatigue set. I'm not sure I've had a set that had such a dark treble as this one. But, so that's okay on the treble. Keep on turning it up, but it really carries down through the vocals. And you end up with something that sounds really muffled. It almost sounds like people are singing with a mask on. It's just very hard to sound dynamic and detailed with no treble. And if you ignore all that, then the bass and the stage are actually okay. But we'll take a quick look at what's actually going on here. So I think from the bass all the way through to where it starts to rise, kind of fine. I think the dynamic driver, maybe there's a BA in here somewhere, but this is all, kind of bass boosted neutral. I think that was all done quite well. Then, as I said, you go into the rise, and this part, actually sounds sort of okay. Female voices right here, that's kind of what you hear is only this part, so it sounds a bit odd, but you can at least hear them at normal levels. And then as this arcs over and drops, this whole upper range really should have been sort of very closer to where Critical's target was. So this whole level is dropped a good, 10 or 15 decibels from where it really should be. So it's very hard to hear this at all. It's there, and like I said, you crank it up and it's there, But this really should have been shifted up a good bit. So if you do that in EQ, you're kind of back in the game of it sounding pretty good and sounding reasonably close to the driver quality that they put in there. But you do have to plug a couple holes. So this one, 5K, definitely bump that one up and fill in the hole a little bit. And after you do that, then you're going to have to bring down the gain because, like I said, this is the majority of the emphasis actually happens here out of the box, and it sounds kind of odd. So you do have to drop that a few decibels. But this is a lot of work for a set that costs $1,000. So, not necessarily interested in doing a detailed review because by the time you EQ it, it sort of becomes Paul's version of Roland as opposed to Roland out of the box. So I'll kind of let it go as is, and if people are interested, go for it. But yeah, this is a difficult one out of the box to deal with. So again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time.